you say mean mugging or mean monkey? Because
I didn't say either of those things. I said monkey heaven.
oh, monkey heaven. That's even worse. Dude, why are you sending me to monkey heaven? I mean, I know I want to watch the Planet of the Apes. And honestly, I am jealous of white people who
Okay.
can just be around and have fun with it. Meanwhile, it's all I ever want to do, and I can't do it just because I can't be black and pretend to be an ape, you know?
Right. Right. It's a tragedy for sure. Yeah.
I'm like really good at it. I think I'm really good at it. I mean, I just like really commit to it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It's in your blood. Anyway, I mean, we started this off with on a very racist note.
It's in my blood.
That's not going in the podcast. Because the first couple of questions are who are we, how did we meet, and then we start talking about why we got into comedy. So how about you? Yeah, say
But
who. Yeah.
who am I? My name is Cameron Bell. I
Okay. Wait, wait.
don't know how to answer this question, but like you fumble through it.
You're,
Um,
but you need to have more energy while you're doing it. Like,
well,
why?
yeah, I mean, I energy is rarely ever a problem for me.
Yeah.
They call me the human solar panel because of how inefficient I am with transferring energy, and because I'm black. And like the sun looks good on me, or it's good for me.
Yeah.
And every time I don't go outside, I'm just like, oh, I don't feel very well. And it's like, oh, you have no energy, you stupid solar panel, you. And so that is who I am. I am Cam. I don't know if there's any way to describe me. I've been described by many names, titles, etc. And I just kind of like throw them all into like a bag and like I pull one out and oh, like this is how I feel today. I don't have thoughts, I just have energy. And that is how I would describe myself. It's a terrible explanation, but it is a very Cam explanation. And I feel like
And
Brandi
that's what
would.
matters. And that's what matters. Yeah, I am Brandi Simpson. I mean, how do I follow that? I, yeah, I'm a chill person. I like to laugh a lot and I like to talk. Well, I like to listen. I listen more than he likes to listen. But I like to be a part of conversations and laugh with friends and such. And yeah, I have a job. I'm a year out of college, and but the dream is, comedy, TV writing, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, Cam, tell us more about your life situation right now and general goals.
Hmm. Uh-huh. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. Here in Jacksonville, I work as an engineer. My official job title is a planning engineer. I help babies, or not just babies. I help surgeons plan surgeries, which feels redundant when I say it, but it's what I do. I'm actually applying to medical school right now. It is in my future, and I'm doing comedy because it's something that I enjoy and it helps me connect with people, make people laugh. It's the only legal form of medicine I can practice at this time. So that is why I'm doing this thing right now. My goal, I guess, in comedy is um, I tell people to be on SNL. I don't even watch the show. Like,
Interesting.
I don't even watch it. It just like makes sense to say.
I've
Um,
never even heard you say that. Like, what are you talking about? Okay.
Well, I haven't told you that. I tell people all the time, like, oh, like Cam, like, where do you see yourself in comedy? I'm like, man, if I'm not on SNL by like September, I failed. And obviously that's not gonna happen. But it is fun to say. And
Yes.
people are like, oh. Man, serious about comedy.
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
mean, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's me. What about you, Brandy? What are your comedic goals? Where do you live?
Yeah. Where do I live? Well, I live in
What's
this,
your address?
oh my God. I live in this amazing,
What time will you be there?
oh my God. I I live in this amazing
Who do you,
called Peoria, Illinois. Um, and you know, the thing, okay, most of you probably don't know Peoria, Illinois, unless most of the people are our friends and you live, yeah, you have lived there at one point. But it does like a lot of comedians do come here to perform. It has, historically has this like plays in Peoria thing, and so like you know Richard Pryor was born here, so like there's a little bit of clout that comes with Peoria, but other than that, it's pretty boring. But I went to school in Evanston, and I'd like to move to Chicago by September. So you know I've done a couple open mics in Chicago; those are fun. Now this the ones in Peoria are not that fun, but yeah. And then comedy goals. I mean, writing on SNL is definitely one of them. I feel like I mean, like I definitely don't want to act on SNL. In terms of in general, I would act on my own show, but I don't. Acting is not my goal. It's more being behind the camera. Um, but yeah, I want to have my own late night kind of show. Whether it could and I'm like toying around with like I guess like, I could like kind of start with now and just put it on YouTube, but that's I'm trying to work my way up to that. But like yeah, I want to have a variety show, talk to people, do sketches, that kind of thing. And then yeah, of course, like yeah, I want to write movies and TV. Yeah, I think I tell people I want to be a mix of Adam Sandler and like Issa Rae or Quinta Brunson now. So yeah, those are my goals.
can I tell you something? Or not tell you feels weird.
Sure.
It's so hard to talk about yourself, and I think, or not talk about yourself, but like to answer these questions because it's like a monologue. How often do you like in your day do you just like have a monologue where you're just like talking nonstop about like paragraphs and paragraphs of information about yourself?
Yeah,
Like
not all.
never.
Yeah, that's true.
So you said Peoria. I wanted to put a pin on that
Okay.
because this is how I've started to describe Peoria. You speak Spanish, or I mean, we took Spanish together,
Yeah.
right? So how did we meet, Brandy? Or do you want to answer that, or can I answer that? Or
I mean, you brought it up. You can answer.
yeah, we met in high school. I don't remember if it was before then. Like I don't remember my first interaction with Brandy, to
Oh
be
no,
honest. I
okay. I'll say we met. I mean, we met in high school. I remember like seeing you fresh, like beginning of freshman year, but like I didn't pay much attention. And then I feel like I got to know you like maybe fall, wintry of freshman year. And by got to know you, it's very loose. It's a very loose term. But yeah. So yeah, definitely high school, but I don't know our first interaction.
mm-mm, I can't remember it. Um, oh, gosh, I was gonna say Peoria because this is how I describe it to people. How do you say worse in Spanish? Do you remember? Peor, like P-E-O-R, and like you add IA, and that's like Peoria. It's like worse than you can ever imagine.
Yeah,
It's not.
good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean it's not.
It's not really the worst, but
It's fun to like call it bad, because like if you're from somewhere that's really sucks, like no one has ever heard about, it's like you can't even make fun of it. But if you're from like somewhere great, now obviously people are like, oh, I heard of that, yada yada yada. But if you're in that sweet spot where like it's not great, like I'm not there because I wouldn't, couldn't, shouldn't be me, right?
I'm sure.
But I mean, it's not like it has things.
Sure. It has
So,
things. And like for people who are not for people who are over 30, maybe I can see more things that it has. But for the young people, I feel like it's really just a desert, and yeah, it's not quite the
For,
huh.
and I didn't want to cut you off. I didn't want to forget my thought. Like it has things for people over 30. I mean, I feel like people over 30 have kids that just like what their life is about. You know, like it
Yeah,
has things for people over 30. Like, what does that mean?
I mean, I think I mean, I would never recommend someone younger than 30, 35 to move there, but yeah, I could see because like my mom, she has a fun time in Peoria, and I'm like, okay, but none of the things she's doing are things that I would want to do, maybe ever for me personally, but like in general, like because I'm young. So yeah, it's interesting. Can't believe we've been talking about Peoria for 5 minutes. But yeah, I guess is there anything else you'd address to like how we met? I mean, yeah, we weren't in the same friend group, but we were in like adjacent friend groups, I would say.
Brandy was in a friend group. I was not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I had like two or three, I guess two or three friends that I would hang out with. I wouldn't, I mean, I guess there were times when we were a group, but it was usually like me and one other person, or me and this other person, or sometimes the three of us, sometimes this fourth person came in. But it wasn't like Brandy was like in the friend group, like group chat, text, like yada yada yada. No, that was not me. I would like text one friend, pick him up, and go to the other friend and be like, just be at his house. Or like one of that friends would be busy and I'd like I just go somewhere else. Like, oh, like this is where my friends are, you know. So
Gotta do carpools, definitely a lot of coordination for my friend group for sure. People had to have big basements for us to hang in. Yeah, that was definitely the case. And then we were both in Jack and Jill. I feel like that's probably where I talked to you the most. Like, yeah, yeah. Do we have to explain Jack and Jill?
I was hoping it wouldn't have come up.
I'm
To
done.
be 100% honest, I was just like, yeah, like let's like rush past that. Like we don't really need that.
Yeah,
We
let's
don't need to
unpack
talk
it.
about
Yeah, let's unpack that. Why?
why. I mean, I don't know. It's just like,
Uh, hmm.
why would I want to talk about it? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'll just say that like nobody or Jack and Jill can get a bad rep, all right? Like a lot of people, I mean, half of our audience, I don't know what our demographics are gonna look like. You
Manifest.
know, like
That's
yeah,
what you want it to be.
what would you say?
Just manifest for who you want it to be.
Or I don't know who I want it to be, but what I will say is we don't have an audience yet. And so, I mean,
Yeah,
they don't know Jill.
yeah. It's yeah.
Uh,
Go
and
ahead.
I mean, like,
Yeah, it's definitely.
um, what?
No, you go ahead.
Did you hear that?
I did.
I got a phone call. Uh, that was my brother. He just turned 25. He's like it's not old, but like that's old. You know what I'm saying? Like to us, like 25, that's a serious age right there. And like, jeez, you know, like he's closer to 30 now than he is to 20.
Yeah. Damn.
Scary.
Wow.
But yeah, he's checking out on me because like I said, we'll probably be getting I will probably be I will likely be racially profiled in the next couple of days. Fingers crossed everything goes well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Don't wear any.
Jack and Jill. Yeah. But what's up?
I said don't wear any ski masks for the next couple days.
You're telling me I can't wear my taxi?
Please. Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, we don't. I mean, we don't have to go into Jack and Jill. Like it's we've created lore. That's what we've done, and now people like people who don't know are like, "Ooh, what's Jack and Jill?" And they have to look it up, and like, yeah. Well, I guess do we talk about how we got started in comedy now?
I guess so. I can also say like Brandy and I. didn't really become like friends until college. And I don't even think it was freshman year. It was like a maybe a little bit freshman year, probably not that much. And then COVID. Like we became friends over COVID.
Mhm. Yes.
Mm,
What?
I guess a little graduating as well. Like we did have the graduation party together. And I was going through my phone videos and I have a video of me and Corey in your basement. And so I
It
guess
was
there's that.
that date's just so out of the blue to me. I just remember you like texted, you're like, or like, can I, you were like, where are you guys at? And then all of a sudden there's a knock at my basement door and you're just standing in the window. I was like, okay, Cameron's here. And like that wasn't, you didn't like come over to my house very often. So I'm like, okay. But yeah,
No,
yeah. Senior year, there were interesting, I was gonna say droplets, but that doesn't make any sense. Interesting like instances of like, okay, like maybe I'm kind of getting closer with Cam. And then there was Cotillion and everything. So like, yeah, the party. But yeah, not till college really. And as you told Zandre, you realized that was cool. So that's why we
I say that.
yes. And I
I
was like,
lied.
oh wow.
No,
Wow.
no, no, I do think you are very cool, Brandy.
You're cool as well. But yeah, I
You don't have to give me a compliment. You see, that's the thing. You ever notice that? Like it's like hard to take compliments because it's hard to just like accept it and then just be like, okay, yeah, just like
yeah,
say nothing else. But I'm
yeah.
trying to get better. Like, oh, like you got a nice shirt on. Thank you. Oh, like I like your shoes. But like I'm not like anti-compliments. I'm pro like giving compliments, but it's just like, dang, like just take it. Take
Yeah.
it on the chin.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And then you just, yeah, you seem more confident too when you're like, thank you. And then you just move on and not like, oh my God, and I love your hair too. Like, like you don't have to do all that. Yeah. We became friends in college and I
Not
went,
even at the same college.
yes. So, okay, true. Okay. Well, yeah. So I went to Northwestern for school, journalism major. Will I be a journalist? No, but I will. I do. I did learn stuff, and I do use it in my daily life as a marketing specialist. So, and then yeah, Kim, where'd you go?
I went to Yale. I studied biomedical engineering. And so it's like complete opposite in many ways of what comedy is, or I guess what people think about. But I would argue that I'm argumentative.
Okay, nice. Um, yes, and then yeah.
Didn't know where I was going. I was gonna say that comedy is it's similar to engineering, or it can be in terms of there being a problem or something that you're trying to figure out, right? It's like, oh, like this should be funny, but it's not quite yet. And so like reworking it, tooling it until it becomes funnier. Just trying to figure out how a joke works, I think, could be very um logical or engineering heavy, problem solving for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, and I guess in term, I mean, in as a writer in general, there's definitely like similarities to comedy and like journalism or writing. Like definitely like structuring. I feel like I'm pretty good at like understanding like this needs to go before this so that they can understand this and that kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like I feel like comedy weaves into both of what we've done. So I mean, yeah. So I was at Northwestern. You were at Yale. Um, Basically one day, the way I got started into comedy, was I mean, I'd loved stand up for a long time. And I never really been like, oh, like I should be doing stand up. I was just like sophomore year, I decided, okay, like I want to write for television. And so then I started taking screenwriting classes and such. And so in one of those screenwriting classes, I met this kid named Cole, and he was like, my friends and I are doing this stand up show, and like, you know, people audition, like you should come and or you should audition. And so like literally my first thing was gonna be an audition, but he was like, oh, I host an open mic. I think that's what he told me about first. So I was like, I remember that week I was like, so I told him, okay, like I might come. And then like it was on a Friday. So on Thursday, I'm like writing all day into the morning. And then like maybe I got a few hours of sleep and then I write more on Friday. And basically I was late to the show because I didn't finish writing. And then so I was texting him like I was like, I'm coming, I'm gonna come, I think. And but I was like writing, just trying to get something that I thought was funny. And by writing, I mean a mix of like voice messages and or like voice recordings and like typing in my Google Docs. And then, you know, I texted him, I was like, I'm on my way. And then so I was like literally gonna be the last person because there was like 10 minutes left in the show. And then I went up there and it went a lot better than I thought it would. It went pretty decent. So
Do
yeah,
you
yeah,
remember any of the jokes that you said?
I did.
Share?
I mean, my favorite, like it's, I can't perform it because like it's so cheesy and like especially like the people at school.
Keep it up, please.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear. I don't think I've heard your first joke.
I know you did. Well, okay, we'll get to that, but you did. But yeah, so like it was basically like I was like, if I bomb, like I prepared like a little self-care package for me at home. Like I've got like I I had some jokes about like I had like Gatorade Fierce, like what's up, blah blah blah, and I was like, and I've got my favorite delivery pizza, or sorry, not delivery, DiGiorno pizza, and then like that got a that got a big thing, you know.
That was funny. That's so funny. As I was hearing you say that, or so like, where does my mind go? Brandy, I've discussed with Brandy how I sometimes go for like shock comedy, and I don't really like it. But when Brandy said she has a care package at home for her to bomb, where does my mind go immediately? It goes
Nine.
revolver. It goes, you know what I'm saying? And I don't like that. But it like I know it works, It could. It's just like kind of dark.
Yeah, no, and I did that at the next show, or one of the next shows I did the gun joke and people did not like it. And I think I had to literally say, um, I guess I have to nix that next time. Hold on.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, I have
Or do you
to.
think I'd say the timer, 10 minutes
Yeah.
left?
Okay, so yeah, we got time and then we'll start a new one. But yeah, and I
Do
think
you
okay, yeah, you go.
so yeah, why do you think that didn't work?
Well, yeah, I think honestly, I think it was the audience because it was an improv audience. It wasn't like a stand-up audience, and like I think it was just a different vibe. They're also like, I mean, not that like let me not even say that, but there was just a lot of different people than I would see at the usual comedy shows. So I think it just wasn't kind of their vibe. That also was the show that Steve Carell was at, so that's cool. That's story for another time. But yeah, it people I don't think they're into the darkness.
Was it or so like that makes me wonder. Maybe it could work, but so when you set it up, was that like the first thing you said? Like, oh, like a gun?
Um,
Like
I mean, I definitely did Rule of
says
Thumb.
no one.
That was probably the third thing I mentioned.
Oh, was it the third thing? Because I feel like if you did like the first two things, um, or like two things that are positive, and then you like came in with like a gun and you're like, oh, like I prepare I in my care package, I have some candles, some of my favorite candles that I really like the smell of. My favorite meal at home, uh, teriyaki salmon, and then the gun. I don't know, but I feel like the setup, they're like the two things you could be like feed it into the gun and be like, yeah, like I wanted my last meal to be a good one, or I don't know, that might be a tag. My foray into comedy. How does it begin? Let me say it came. Um,
Wait,
you
let's do the new video before you tell this.
don't think I can explain myself in 6 minutes?
I mean, your track record. Like, I just want to be prepared.
I do. I was gonna agree with you. I know I probably could. I mean, I could do like speed my way through it, but
You'll be fine. Okay, sounds good. Go.
you want me to go? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I
Tell me
getting
about your first time doing stand up.
oh, my first time doing stand-up. Um, Definitely had a ton of performance anxiety. um, no. Or so I how did I get into comedy? Brandy actually. Um, Brandy said comedy is the best thing you can do for yourself because either everything in your life goes well or you can turn it into a bit. I was like, oh, like that's very wise for someone my age, but Brandy, she's got some wisdom for sure in her youth. And so my freshman year actually, I didn't try comedy, but I'd probably get in trouble for this. I mean, I should be getting in trouble for it. But all the dorms my freshman year were connected. And so I just go from like one place to another, just like sitting and just like talking to people and seeing what was going on. And so I developed a skill of just talking to people. And there was one group that I would talk to a lot. And I don't know what the heck I talked about. I was just talking, just like flow state. And um, I get some laughs fairly often. And so I was like, oh, like maybe comedy is a thing. And then Brandy, my junior year, said that. And so my senior year, so you know what? Like, let me just go ahead and do comedy. And so uh, I joined this comedy group called the Odd Ducks. I remember the first joke, or I was like super nervous at my audition. Like I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was like, oh, like I'll just go in and I did some I did like a Southern mom voice or like a deep Southern voice. And like I was like, I don't really know how that's gonna go. And then thank goodness for this guy. His name is Chris Saladin. He's like 6'5". He like played baseball. Funny dude. He did a Donald Trump impersonation. And so of course I did an Obama. And the Ducks, they loved it. They're like, yeah, like come back. Like I had my callback, my quack bag, I think as they called it. And at my quack bag, I remember like I couldn't write jokes. Like, oh my gosh, I want to write something. And then I remember like something came to me, and I think I texted Brandy about it. And so I had like two main jokes that I talked about. No, there's three things. One, I talked about uh, the Magic School Bus, right? I had this joke about the Magic School Bus and how like it's weird when you think about it, how Miss Frizzle was just like, yeah, like today we're just gonna like explore so and so's inside, like this little girl in our class, and it's just like a weird thing, to to think about. And I was like, imagine the consent forms that like the parents would have to fill out. Like, I know you can be like a pretty mindless, but like, oh, like what'd you do in school today? Oh my gosh, we spent all day up inside of Jessica, and let me just say, how do you like? It didn't really make sense to me. And so I talked about that. I talked about speaking of magic, like the magic treehouse, and how me and my older brother used to always want to. We used to read the books together, and people love like, oh, like Magic Treehouse, like Mommy's After Midnight, like dinosaurs in the daytime or dawn or whatever it is. And so my other joke was like how me and my brother like love those jokes. Like we wish we could go there, but it hasn't really been like a good time for like people like us, like for a while. And I'd have to come back and tell my parents that, only one of us made it back. And like, what the hell were you guys doing in the treehouse? Like, man, we went to the Civil War. Like I saw like a slave auction. I saw my brother get sold. Like it's like, I don't know, it's still like that shock humor. I'm trying to get away from that, but it's just like I think it's too on the nose, because it's like, oh, like these things are crazy, but I'm just hitting it like right there on the nose. And you get popped in the nose and you're just like, ouch, that hurts, versus someone like gently kisses you on the nose, just like, "Ooh," like it's just so much better. So that's how comedy started for me.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I feel like when you started, I feel like I was very surprised and like, but then like looking back, I was like, well, I guess he's like very goofy and like and like jokey. I just never because I feel like a lot of the times, like at least in school, like you were like school cam and like you're getting the good grades and like studying and like that vibe. But then like, but then like looking back, I was like, he was like weird and goofy a lot, like just like
Weird. Okay. I don't know. Weird. That's what we're gonna call it.
we love weird people. Weird's good. um, I was, but yeah. So yeah, like it makes sense now. But I'd never. It would not have been on my bingo card forever, for any time ever. Yeah.
We have less than a minute, and so are you saying that also like reminds me like I never would have pegged Brandy for like comedy. I feel like Brandy was like pretty shy in high school. I mean, we didn't really talk, but you know, like Brandy, like I don't know.
In
Like
fact, we'll get to that in a
I
second. I don't know. Let me end it real quick. All right. So, what were you saying about how weird I was? How weird and shy I was?
didn't call you weird. I don't think. I don't
Ooh,
know. I have like bad memory, good memory, selective memory, and so I don't know. Um, Yeah, I felt like Brandy was pretty shy in high school. Like I'd see Brandy, and you see Brandy because she was shy, she's like always giggling about something in the corner. It's like, what the fuck are you laughing about? Like all the time. Like you're just like in some corner giggling. It's like, what is so funny right now,
I'm
you
saying
know?
in a corner.
I mean, obviously, sometimes it was a corner, but you just be like off somewhere, or just like you when you're like in the corner of like two people, like I
Okay.
just see like Brandon like to the side, uh, laughing about something. So
Okay.
mm, that's so funny.
And you know, Kalela used to tell me that all the time about middle school. She was like, when you first got here, I was like, she's so weird. She was like, and I would always carry my violin case around. She's like, what does she have in that violin case? She was like, you were so sketchy, Brandy. And that I will take, because in middle school I was literally like I didn't have friends in sixth when I first got there in sixth grade. So I didn't have friends and I was just like listening to people listening to people's conversations because I didn't have any of my own. Like so literally, yeah. I'll take that. And I will take your shy and I will take your giggling. I was not in the corner, but
No, I know. You were in the corner, but like you know how like everyone like is the main character in their movie. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
Or main character in their own life. Like you were in my corner and I was in your corner, but we were in our respective like center of screen. I was doing whatever I was doing. If I was in class and Brandy was there, I was working on some worksheet or talking to probably one of my good friends, probably my best friend, Merrick. And Brandy'd be just in the corner, like in my periphery laughing. But obviously, Brandy was in the corner just giggling about, I don't know what the fuck was funny still. But I was in my corner, respectively, and Brandy's like, this guy is just, I don't know, he's being ridiculous. I mean, it was probably being ridiculous at
Because
that
that's the
time.
thing about because like I feel like you had like two different extremes, which was either like being like straight faced, not talking to anybody, like weird, like I don't even know. I don't even know how to explain it. But just it being weird and being like non-approachable or super goofy, but like definitely like when your friends are around. So like they would come around and you would get goofy. And I remember I would hear about things like I would just maybe like my friends on the football team, like I would hear about things you said. I was like goo like silly shit. I was like, he said that? Like what? Like it doesn't track with like the weird stoic version of you. But then I guess you were, out of pocket on your own time. But yeah,
I see.
that's interesting. Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
That's so
Interesting. Yeah. I'm glad we got into that. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we've got that. And then
Do you know what it is?
what?
Or one thing.
Sure.
So one of the ways that I knew Brandy, and
Hmm.
I'm sorry that I bring this up. I apologize.
Oh God.
I knew Brittany had a crush on me, right? And that's just like a weird thing. Like when people have like a crush on you
Yeah.
and you don't really know like what to do about it. You're just like, and so and in many ways I would be unapproachable because it's like what am I gonna do about that? You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't want you to have a crush on me. Not that I didn't want you to have a crush on me, but it's like, mm. It just makes it can make a lot of things a lot more difficult than I think that they should be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. And I think that I think there were instances where I definitely was weird and that's understandable. But yeah, I remember like junior, senior year, I was talking to Corey about something. He was like, everybody knows they have a crush on Cam. And I was like, what? I was like, everybody knows. I don't even want to get into it right now. Because I don't know. I mean, I knew that like, I don't know. I really thought I was being pretty discreet about it, but you know, um,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. But yeah, yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything else from the high school, college saga?
it'll come up in
Yeah,
conversation organically.
you're right.
Do you have like a list of notes?
Yeah, I have some. I have like some things I wrote about.
From calendar. Pay student loans.
Wait, did you hear
Yeah, I did.
that? Anyway, yeah, I wrote some things that I think are questions you should answer, and then some just random fun questions that I found off the internet if we get to them. But um, well, why did we start the podcast?
Brandy started the podcast. I listen to podcast. I've been on the podcast wavelength. You know, I'm 23 years old in high school. So
Yeah.
what is that? Like, I don't know, 6 years ago? Dang. Like 6 years ago, actually like 7 years ago was when I started. I would drive and I'd get tired of listening to music. So I just turn on podcasts and I like listen to podcasts. So I've been on the podcast wavelength for a while, a lot longer than my peers, but it's never been like a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
And so I think you listen to a lot more comedy podcasts, right? And so you just had an idea.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I started listening in college. Like I think just like when Gen Up, everybody was like listening. Yeah, I do. I listen to it like a bunch weekly. My favorites right now, I mean, this is for the audience, I know you all know. The Downside with John Marcos Cerezi. He's a stand-up comedian in New York. Has a lot of interesting people on. And Sochi with Caleb Piran. A lot of you might have seen Caleb Piran clips on TikTok. He's amazing, hilarious. He's just so funny that like it doesn't matter who he has on. I'm like I need to watch now. He's gonna be hilarious. And then the third, I mean, oh yeah, Will and Rusty's Play Day. They do a lot of they have a lot of segments where they like come up with just like fun and creative stuff, like sayings that shouldn't exist, words that don't sound like what they are, just like making up love songs like with like funny titles and stuff like that. So like
Like comedians in cars getting coffee. It's like comedians on computers, color of coffee. Like I feel like we're the same thing. You know, like um Brandy and I would talk a lot on the phone. And it was so annoying because I on the phone with Brandy, I just have such great freaking ideas and they just come out naturally, just overflowing. Um, and I'd always talk to Brandy about like wanting to do more stand up. I was like, I don't have any jokes. And Brandy's like, what the heck? For the past hour and a half, all you've done is said funny things, funny premises, this, that, and the third, right? And like, what do you mean you don't have any jokes? Like, Brandy, I don't have any jokes. Like, I'm just like talking, like things just like happen when I'm talking. And so um I was like, yeah, like why not? Like maybe I'll get a nugget out of that, or maybe Brandy's just laughing at everything that I'm saying. I was like,
and
no, I'm
like
joking.
I still like I don't feel like you believe me ever when I laugh. Like I like yes, I laugh at everything, but I swear they're different laughs. Like
No, I mean, I can tell, or I don't think you fake laugh, you know, because like fake laughs, there's a speed to them, you know, like you can't fake laugh and have it last long, or it will turn into a real laugh, you know, like fake laughing, like it's like ha ha ha, like it just like I feel like you can't go past three ha's, you know, like you can't go ha 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 ha, because like the fourth ha just sounds fake. But if you're like actually laughing, right, you do like a fake laugh, but it has to be like evil, like and then you can like actually start laughing. But no, like I'd be saying stuff. And I think it's funny. And Brandy, I think it's because, you know, like Brandy knows me. And so like some of that too, like adds to it. You know, like if you see someone on fire, you're just like, oh my goodness, that person needs help. But if they're the human torch, it makes sense, you know? And so
Sure, sure.
no, it's like context is like a very big thing, and Brandy has a lot of context of who I am as a person and what makes sense and what's funny and like oh she's seen me in different places and you're like okay like that is something funny because I can understand like what Cam is saying about this, right? For example. I have siblings, and my siblings make me laugh endlessly. But there's just so much more that Brandy can get from a story when I'm talking about my little brother, my little sister, because she can picture them and be like, oh, like, yeah, he does absolutely look like a microphone when he gets his haircut, you know, and his afro is like all pooped out, and he just like tap him on the head, like mic check, one, two, three, right? Like Brandy can understand that versus if you're just some wacko jacko and you don't know, I love that saying, by the way, wacko jacko. Like every once in a while, I'll hear my dad say, he's just, and some wacko jacko. And so Brandy can appreciate because my dad is always on the phone, right? But it just pops out and I'm like, yeah, I gotta put that into what I'm saying. But context is important,
Yeah,
is what I was gonna say.
yes, it's definitely important. Yeah. Well, so I mean, I'll pick you like when you're writing jokes, how do you try and incorporate context into them to help your audience understand?
So I think that's a big thing. Because you need to be, and I'm not, you need to be clear and concise. And I'm not very clear and I'm absolutely not concise. I can talk about a damn circle and just go around and around and around and over and over and over again. You know, it's like, and so what were we talking about? It's like pi, like 3.1415, you know, like pi r squared, that's the circle. And like you're just like saying things, but you're not saying anything. And so like I'm doing right now, like words are coming out but it's like, is he really saying anything? And it's like every third word, there's maybe something in it, but it's not something that I'm good at and something that I can't even lie and say that I'm trying to work on. I haven't been writing comedy, but it is something that I will be doing when I get back to writing. But what about you? Like, how do you build context and make people care about that context?
Wow. See, the thing is, I'm so good at asking questions, but I never want to answer them myself. Yeah, I definitely think including emotion into the joke, like just telling people, like if you tell someone what happened, then tell them how you felt about it, and like, and if there's something that you might think that there'll be a disconnect, you'd be like, I know you might think this, but here, and like so like you can kind of do that and like try and get in their shoes and like tell them that you're doing that. Like I know you like talk to them, like say you guys, or if something's not happening going well, you'd be like, you guys don't seem to be with me on this, but let me reiterate that like, this and that. So like related to your jokes, like are you not understanding what the feeling you're trying to portray is? Is that what you're saying?
Or I would say that I'm not understanding my feelings or like I'm not or my feelings are weird or like I was told Brandy all the time um like if someone got hit by a car someone hearing that someone got hit by a car is funny to me not because I'm imagining a person actually getting hit by a car Because like that's sad and unfortunate. But I'm imagining just in the funniest way possible, this person getting hit by the car. You know, like they just turn into like the car like car wash like car dealership people, you know, you just see him like hit the car like boom just like falling all over the place, like that's what I imagine. And so like I'm really bad about like hearing bad things because I'm like, oh, like that would be funny if you do it in a comedic way, you know, like yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that made, like back to me laughing and everything. I definitely like my instinct. Like if someone got hurt, but it's clearly not, lethal. It's like it's clearly not fatal or like they don't have to go to the hospital. A lot of the times I'm gonna laugh. Like or someone trips or falls, like I'm definitely the one to like burst out laughing really quickly. And then I'll be like, "Oh, are you okay?" But that reminds me of this one time. I don't I I don't feel like I laughed, but I was out with my aunt. It was at night. She was walking her dog, and then like we were on the sidewalk, but there's like a busy road, and the dog like goes into the street, and like she like falls down, and like it's so bad to describe, but like I guess maybe at first I burst out laughing because the initial like someone's being regular, and then like they have this comedic like cartoonish fall that's funny to me. But like then we got back and she was telling everybody for years that I was laughing at her while she was like damn near getting dragged into the street. Like
No, this was your aunt that fell down. I thought this was just like some random lady that fell down and you were with her. So that's even funnier because
yeah.
because well, that's I feel like if that were me and I fell down and you just started laughing, I'd be pissed. But like honestly, like it's I feel like there's like some emotional processing issues. I used to get in fights with my girlfriend, right? And she would be my ex-girlfriend. She would be like crying, and I was like blank, blank, blank face. And then like I felt bad, obviously, but then I would just start to laugh, and like not like a not like a haha laugh. Like I was guffawing, like I was just like overcome with laughter. Would you say?
Actually did laugh.
No, it was like a serious laugh, and I was like, I didn't want to keep going because that's like super hurtful to someone else. You know, you're telling them how you feel and all these things, and all I could do was laugh.
I get the urge, like especially if like yeah. Because it's funny, like without the context, it's funny. Like they're like, why are they crying? Why do they look like that? Like it's funny. But
You're a super villain, Brandy. Wow, Brandy. They look so weird, you know, like I feel like it's like a complete just like not paying attention to the other person. You know, like they're like all these things are going on and you're just like, but did you see their face? It's so funny. Like it's like an insane thing to say.
yeah, but that doesn't mean I don't feel, and especially in if it's like, and again, if it's a super deep situation, or if it's like that's the thing, if I don't feel the emotion deep, then it's easier, of course, to like be thinking about these things like that. But I do think I've gotten better at stifling it. I think if my aunt fell today, I wouldn't audibly laugh. But yeah,
That's inside.
yeah, yeah,
Inside.
yeah.
Did you see her
Uh,
freaking drag also or something like that?
oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely just find a lot of things funny. And like part of it is just like, oh, it was like awkward, but it's more fun to like laugh than cringe. Like so like, I'll definitely laugh when I'm embarrassed. So like that could be part of it. But yeah.
So that's the thing. Like it's great to laugh at yourself when you're embarrassed because it's just like, oh, like, ha ha ha. And so I'm like bad about that, you know, like if I'm ever in a situation or if I get in situations where like I am not super comfortable trying, I'll instead like make a clown of myself. And I'm just like, and not like actually try to be like, ah ha ha ha. And like it's fine like the first couple of times, and then you just get annoying, right? Like I was playing this fucking drinking game. I don't drink like that,
Yeah.
right? And I couldn't figure it out first. And like, haha, like, and then the actually like you're an idiot. like you're actually
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get it. Then I played so much time like trying to just like make fun of the situation, just like play around with it that like nothing was coming in. And it's something that has been noted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's noted.
Have you ever had something like that happen to you? Or have you ever noticed that?
Like, like the playing off part, or yeah, wait, what part of
Are
it?
you using laughter as a coping mechanism, Brandy?
Yeah, true, true. Wow, snaps.
Now?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing right now? So let's get through this. Um, feel like therapists always do like the slow, like it's so dramatic. But
Sure, sure.
what were you gonna say?
No, I mean, well, when you first started talking, you were talking about like, when you like, if you're like doing bad at something or you don't really get it, you like try and play it off. And I feel like that's something that people do with.
And so like the times when I've been my most free, just like my most free, my most confident. Um, like I definitely say like those are for sure, for sure the best moments. Like I once did this improv class and we did this game called um um opera. There was like some opera game, right? And so like we all stood in a line. We were a symphony of some sort. And so my teacher would just like point at each of us, and you just had to sing, right? And like you could just like fake it, but there was this other guy. Gosh, I can't remember his name right now. But Jesse. Jesse. And Jesse also wanted to do comedy. And so like we just agreed, it was like no matter what, like I'm just gonna go all out. And so like he go all out, and I was like, oh shoot, like Jesse can sing. And then like I go all out, I was like, oh. So I just did it right now, but like I was like actually singing and just like actually just like in it. And it was an amazing feeling. Uh, to just be like that raw, vulnerable, and then having it work out too. It was just it was phenomenal.
Do you feel like, and so are you saying that you wouldn't have done that if it weren't for Jesse? Like,
Have you had things like that happen before?
yeah, so that brings me to like, I mean, yeah, as we mentioned, like I was shy in high school, and but I do feel like something. I think because in college, like I didn't make up a whole bunch of friends, and I think, and then something I kept saying all the time was like, I feel like I'm not even showing them like the real me. Like it was, I don't know, it was hard to like be like my actual self in some way, and so I do notice that when I'm around certain people, definitely feel more like confident and just like, I mean, and like not even there's definitely like a core group of people that I feel like, oh, like if I'm out walking around with these people, I'll do whatever the fuck that comes to my mind. Like I like it's just pure like I'm being myself. Um
Mhm.
and then but yeah, as I get more comfortable with people and as I know that they like know me and like I don't know. And so like okay, let me think about what to say. Yeah, yes. I definitely think depending on the people and how much I know that they know me and like all the different, or at least a bunch of different versions of me, then I feel more comfortable to like say what I'm thinking comedically or whatever because they know like if even if it was something weird, they know that that's Brandi though, like they know me and my intentions and that kind of thing. So something that I really enjoyed with reconnecting with like my high school girlfriends, not that we ever disconnected, but like becoming like again like actual I mean like so Mariah, Amani, and Chrissy and I um we were always like besties, but now like they're like in like a core group for me, like oh like these are people I want to be in my life for forever for sure. And so like reconnecting with them at the end of college, I was like, dang, like I miss this, like they know me and like sometimes we'll have nights where we play this game it's like you get deep with it and like we'll drink wine, whatever. It's like deep questions. And like I was like, damn, like they remember, they really know me. Like they actually like I think I forget a lot of times that certain people like actually know me and like remember things that I did and said and or like or no like actually like notice the things that I like about myself that I feel like people don't mention or just stuff like that. So I was like, damn. And so they are definitely so as we have those conversations where I'm like, yeah, like I just feel more free to like be myself. And like and yeah, and so like and be comedic. And so that's something that I and then I noticed that with my family a bit too. But then there's like family for me family is like there's like a whole like weird layer of like yeah, I can be myself around them and I'm trying to do that more. Hold on. Yeah, I see the time thing. But so like there are definitely times or maybe my sister is someone who I'm like able to do that with more. Like we're getting closer, like I'm really like, oh yeah, like I forgot that she's really funny. And so like we can like be jokey more. But I'm like, these are the people who know me really well. So if I could start doing bits with my family, I feel like I'd be so powerful. Like I feel like I get like my comedic comfortability would grow so high. So you know, maybe that's in the future. But yeah, I so that, what?
What's in the future?
No. And then I was just gonna ask you if you feel like there's people that you're more comfortable to do bits and be funny around.
100%. It's like that's like what so I do get when I get comfortable with people, like, oh my gosh, the bits are nonstop. Like you can ask Brandi how I answer our phone calls. And I like I'm sure I mean I don't know if Brandi like deletes voice mails or not, but when I'm probably not when I'm in crisis, right? Or just like transitioning, I like call Brandi. And because she's a busy woman, a lot of times she won't be able to answer. And so I'll just leave these long and ridiculous voicemails uh, with like weird introductions. And I don't know if I've ever, I'm sure I've done like a couple, like more than once, but they're just like, I don't know how to describe it, but that's like a bit that I'll do with somebody. And so, like I do that bits answering phone calls. One of my favorite bits with my family is it's an ironic bit, or whenever like I do something that, or whenever I do something that I'm always known to do, I'm like, would I ever do that? It's so funny to me, and I don't think that they find it funny, but it's just something that I enjoy. But yeah, I'm also with you. Like this, the weird family dynamic. I think it's weird because like oh like you're scared to show your full self because I mean they have to like you, they have to love you, but it's like geez, like
Yeah.
but you know me as this, and I feel like if I wasn't that, it would break your heart. But it's not true. I mean, it would fill it up even more because they're like, wow, like I didn't even know this. You know,
Yeah.
it's like eating like a flavored chip, right? Or it's like eating like a big juicy nacho, right? It's just got so much like good chips are like chips with just a little bit of cheese, but you throw that meat, that cheese, that sour cream, that them little green things. I don't really know my vegetables like that, right? But you throw that all in a chip, and you're just like, it's a flavor explosion in my mouth, and it's just amazing. People love it. So it's just
Yeah.
more complex. More layers of dip is usually a better dip.
Real.
More layers of people
Yeah.
is terrible thing in war. Like that is like a mass grave like that. Oh gosh, does not make me.
Yeah. 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 You heard it here, guys. Be yourself. Oh my God. Groundbreaking stuff. Um,
No, you should be yourself.
uh,
You should not. You should put on a mask of who you are and mask who you are around people at all times.
yeah. Okay. I feel like we should just do 10 more minutes. What if we did?
We have 6 minutes. I don't know where you're getting this information.
Okay.
We have a timer in the corner telling us exactly how much time we have left.
Okay.
So this is the Brandy's bits. There's like a long 5 minutes and a short 5 minutes.
Yes.
And so I guess this is going to be a very quick 10 minutes,
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah. One of the record-breaking 10 minutes. Um, what if what if we just answer random questions like favorite this, favorite that, or story, embarrassing story, this, that kind of thing?
Okay.
Okay. I don't,
I don't have any questions prepared, so I can ask you off the dome, but
yeah.
just
And I don't necessarily do. I just here, hold
you're
on.
looking at notes right now. I don't necessarily.
That's where the necessarily comes in. They're here, but I didn't like I just screenshotted stuff, so I don't have them like in order for me. Um, well, hmm. Okay, well, do you have one for me? And
You have a what kind of dish soap do you like?
what?
Don't fucking know.
What? Okay, hold on. I'm okay. Well, what superhero? What superpower would you want to have?
Such a dumb one. You know, I wish I could shit bricks.
That's all right. All right. Yeah, that's being clipped for sure. That's one of the.
No, seriously, like imagine you're like in a world of like people with superpowers. They're like, oh, I can fly, like, oh, I got invisibility. Like, what can you do? Like, I shoot bricks.
Wow.
And people interact exactly like that. Like, okay, like seriously, right? Nah, like for real. Like, I shoot bricks.
It's not even like it's still painful. You can just do it. So you're just like it just hurts the whole time.
Right? Yeah.
35 minutes, you can do it. That's
Like go through hella toilets per year, you know? Like, oh, like how do you keep breaking these things? I shoot bricks.
how about okay, now you give me a question.
Okay. Um, what's something that you always like? Are you trying to get deeper, like comical?
But like if there's something on your mind, sure. But I was thinking lighter.
Lighter? Okay. Um, what is your favorite fruit to throw at people and why?
Ooh, definitely oranges. I mean, they've got a nice weight to them, so you can like throw them and like know where you're throwing them at. And then like, and if it's a really hard throw, like it'll get on their clothes and like so that's extra points. It'll like a little the tiniest bit of juice, your face.
No, I've never like I don't know where you're getting your oranges, and they must be like pre-peeled because I never like you have to throw. Do you know how hard you have to throw an orange at someone for juice to fly out? That's
Okay,
like I feel like that's equivalent to punching someone and be like, man, and blood just like flew out of my hand. No, you have to throw like a really hard punch and throw an orange especially hard to
yeah,
have the juice. And then it wouldn't be funny because the person has an orange-sized hole in their body because
yeah.
like that's a super hard throw.
I mean, before I throw, I'm like bouncing around a little bit. I gotta get the feel. It's not hard, It's like it's got some wear and tear. So by the time I pummel it at someone, there might be a little juice.
You've never thrown an orange at it. It's
Throw
like giving an orange vibe.
don't don't move the veil. Like yes, I throw oranges at people.
Did you toss them or throw them?
Okay, one more question each, and then we'll say, you know, wrap it up. Okay, hold on. What would your last meal be? Like, let's say you're going to jail, for robbing in your apartment complex, and they're gonna give you the death penalty. What's your last meal?
There's something that I want to say, I'm not gonna say it.
And
Um,
yeah, sure, it might be a good choice.
yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I like food, but I like food that's like in front of me. Like my favorite meal will always be the one that is within 15 minutes away. You know, like convenience and food. Or no, no, or like
That's fair. I just thought you were gonna say like the one in my house or like in front of me. Like that's then you said 15 minutes away. I was like, okay, that's specific. Continue.
or just like you know what I'm saying? Like if I have to, maybe it's because I haven't, it's probably because I eat food like a starving child. Not just like a starving child. Like I eat food like a crocodile. You know, like the shit is just going back. I don't even know if I taste it. Like every once in a while, I'll watch myself eat and I'm like, you're an animal. What is wrong with you? You know, just like I don't even know if I taste it. I'm like, nom, nom. I get like 5 bites. My question for you, Brandy. What is what is a hot take you have about what is a hot take you have about people's relationships with their pets?
Oh, I feel like hmm, people say, I mean, I don't get it. I feel like pets just feel like balls of adversity, you know? I feel like
Ball of adversity?
furry balls of adversity, yes. I don't understand why you're buying something like you're just giving yourself more chores, you're giving yourself less easy vacations, you're giving yourself noise, you're and like all these things someone could say about a child. But like children, at least they can laugh at your jokes.
And at least it's fun to make them too. You
Yeah,
know, like that's like the
that's true. And you don't have to spend money to, yeah, you don't have to spend money to make a child, sort of. But, you know, yeah,
$3.99.
it is. It's $3.99.
I'm the
Um,
biggest.
so is there anything else you need the listeners to know this week?
Um, do I need them to know? Like
Anything,
need
anything, anything.
need feels very pressing, you know, because like need to know. Like I don't know when this episode is gonna be out. It might be out in freaking 2025. You know, and, like, need to know. Like, oh my gosh, guys, like next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Trip your next week is a great week to have summer vacation. That's not really a need to know.
Summer break. Okay. That's so interesting. Yeah. And I
And
you
some
know, sign that, you know. Yeah, that's great. Listeners, tell your family, we're here. Who knows? I don't know when you're gonna see this, but soon. And you know, I hope you laughed once, twice, maybe. And if anything, I mean, like, think about the podcast. Like, we're just your new friends. Like, you know, just it's like, yeah, come be a part of the friendship. Um,
it's hard, right? It's hard to like finish like wrap things up.
it is, but
Yeah.
you know, like and subscribe, guys. This has been Bits and Pieces. I don't know if this is the first episode you'll see or the second, and they will be in bits and pieces, so they may not even feel like episodes at the moment. But hey, you know, we're glad to have you listening. Anything you want to add, Kim?
I think that our bits will have to piece.
Peace.